Students, today we will see another important lecture of workplace incivility. In toxic environment that is shaped by ostracism, cynicism, bullying, incivility. Incivility you have seen. Now see bullying, workplace bullying. What way we mistreating the people, which is very common in practice, almost all of organization, which creates some kind of psychological disorder, disturbing their mental health. As a result, toxicity improved that may lead several types of consequences. So today lecture you will be seeing component of bullying, antecedents of bullying, consequences of bullying, then what kind of remedial action is required. See some of agenda of today discussion, why it is growing concern, what are the different forms of workplace bullying, what are the different causes of workplace bullying, and workplace, why it is relevant in workplace bullying, how one can it prevent, and what is the difference between workplace incivility and bullying. In a nutshell, you can see the complete picture of bullying that may create some kind of problem, some kind of bitter relationship among the different group of people within the organization. See, students, that has to be defined properly. What exactly workplace bullying, layman 1996, psychological terror that involves hostile and unethical communication directed systematically by one or more individual towards another individual, leading to social isolation and professional harm, is very important part of organization as far as component of workplace incivility is concerned. Psychological terror that involves hostile and unethical communication. Selling 2003 says that it is a systematic mistreatment that result in severe psychological or professional harm to the victim, involving verbal abuse, exclusion, work-related harassment that persist over time. NAMI and NAMI 2009, they said there is a repeated health-harming mistreatment of one or more person by one or more people. It is abusive conduct, that is mistreating, humiliating, or intimidating and interferes with work. I think all of definition that shows the mistreatment and psychological some kind of terror which disturb the performance of individual. Now, why it is going concern? Some of research you can see, one of the research in 2022 proved today, 2022, estimated 48.6 million Americans or 30% of US workforce experience bullying at work. In comparison studies against that, the prevalence in India as high as 46%, Gupta et al. 2017, making it one of the countries with the highest reported workplace bullying rates. And there is study in India basically, India as high as 46%. Additionally, report by India Today 2020 found that 55% of Indian people face workplace bullying, highlighting a growing concern for the Indian corporate sector. Meanwhile, in Germany, workplace bullying is reported to affect 70% of the workforce, Langa et al. 2019 showcasing variation in prevalence across different regions. Now, policy makers, organization, HR professional, every people must be knowing exactly what kind of practice we need, as consequences of bullying is more bitter in comparison to incivility, because there is a systematic process of mistreatment of people. Now, what constitutes workplace bullying? It is the component, repeated negative actions over time. All the time you are taking some kind of negative actions, power imbalance between the predator and the target, can be verbal, physical, physiological, social or physical, psychological, that may be in different in shape, and this thing is much dominant in the workplace, that because its antecedents are very dominant, that because of bitter relationship between leader and member. Now, forms of workplace bullying: verbal abuse, insult, humiliation, healing, exclusion and ostracism, ignoring, sidelining, isolation, undermining work, sabotaging tasks, excessive criticism, intimidation and threats, coercion, physical threats, cyberbullying, online harassment, emails, social media. That may be in the different forms, but thing is that it is very systematic. Like yes, one of the important point, as we have seen this particular case, undermining work, sabotaging tasks, excessive criticism, and you are not rewarding the people, those who are working well, those who are working fantastic. Now, causes of workplace incivility, causes of workplace bullying, there are so many causes: workplace organizational culture, toxic work environment, lower dynamics and authoritarian leadership, high competition, job security, lack of proper policies and enforcement. Now see, these are all some of causes, it is very known causes. Now one or two points can I clarify to all of you. Power dynamics, authoritarian leadership. Power dynamics means what? You are not sharing your power, you are not sharing your authority. And authoritarian leadership, that means you are not listening others. And this kind of behavior is the main causes of mistreatment of the people. So many other antecedents are there, so many other causes are there, like as lack of policies and enforcement. This is also one of the great things. Problem of the enforcement, problem of the policies. Lack of proper policies and enforcement means what? Basically, that you are not having, organizations are not having any clear-cut policies or enforcement. Any particular process are there, basically not there, like as enforcement of particular policy, that may cause some kind of mistreatment to accomplish the work. Now, see the effects of workplace bullying on employees. What kind of effects? Psychological stress, number one, anxiety, depression, decreased job satisfaction and morale, increased absenteeism, turnover, impact on physical health, headache, fatigue, high BP. These are all some of bitter consequences. Students, I think as a scholar, as a PG students, need to verify this kind of things. What are the real consequences of workplace bullying? I think these are all available information on the basis of research output. And if you try to understand exactly what happens really, reality check, and your result may be different. Because some cases we just take bullying as a common practice, we undermine it. But remember, it is very systematic, and knowingly people are doing this kind of things to disturb some people. Now, Effects of workplace bullying on organizations: decreased productivity, that is the individual causes you have seen. Now see the organizational factors: decreased productivity, efficiency, higher employee turnover and recruitment cost, poor organizational reputation and legal consequences, decline in workplace collaboration and innovation. In organizational point of view, and its consequences is more harmful, like as absenteeism may increase, attrition may increase, and you may have the high cost of training, high cost of retention. So these are all some of organizational consequences. Now, strategies to prevent workplace bullying, that is some of research outcome, that implement a zero tolerance policy. These are all some of practice normally some of organizations are following basically. I think there must be some policy basically, to whom you are supposed to report. Do you have the proper mechanism, proper system, easy system, so that you can report it? Some cases bullying is more dangerous, some cases it is very poor, some cases it is in very nominal stage. So which kind of bullying to be reported, which is not to be reported, need the sound policy. Ensure accountability for all. Accountability is very important. Establish a multidisciplinary response teams. I think it's very important part of any organizations to understand exactly what kind of bullying is going on. And normally it is happen in the case of team. In the case of collaboration work, develop a confidential reporting system. These are the mechanism: promote open dialogue, conflict resolution, maintain proper documentation. These are all the some of practice, available practices, different organizations, industry, companies like that. Now see some of important part, strategies to prevent workplace bullying. That is already you have seen that some specific systems, specific mechanism are there basically through which that kind of bullying can be resolved, this can be reduced. Now students, you see role of leadership in workplace bullying, that is some of informations which I brought from LinkedIn sources, very latest information, that lead by examples, model respect, empathy and open communication, establish clear policies and procedures, promote open communication, invest in training and education, provide support system, conduct regular assessment. So what exactly role of leadership in workplace bullying? Now organization policy is there, then what is the leadership role? What leader has to do? Bullying normally occurs whereas people work in team level, where people used to work collaborative tasks. Now that particular cases, when it occurs, sometimes people are not reporting this kind of things and people are not openly discuss this kind of things. So leader is there, HR leader or any kind of leadership in the organization, try to trace this kind of things, open dialogue, what way this kind of practice can be reduced. Because as I told in last slide, and that is the oftenly people are doing systematic way. It is not casually happen. It is systematically doing people this kind of mistreatment or psychological stress. Now, difference between workplace bullying and incivility. Workplace bullying is intentional, workplace incivility may not be intentional. Frequent in the case of workplace bullying as far as frequency is concerned, but workplace incivility, that is occasional. Power dynamics, power imbalance is common in the case of workplace bullying, or workplace incivility can happen between anyone, no power imbalance indeed needed. Example, public humiliation, threats, exclusion. Workplace bullying is concerned. Workplace incivility, interruption, dismissive behavior, impact, severe stress in the case of workplace bullying, anxiety, withdrawal from work, or frustration in the case of workplace incivility, low morale, job satisfaction, dissatisfaction, can lead to harassment claims. Legal aspect is there, workplace bullying. No legal but harms workplace culture. This is very important, workplace incivility and workplace bullying. Students, legality of this particular cases is very important. Workplace bullying is the part of the legal context, but whereas workplace incivility is not the part of the legal issue is concerned. So ultimately what we learn, incivility and workplace ostracism both are not same thing. It is the thing, is the intention for what purpose you are doing this kind of behavior. Now see more important things, emerging topics related to workplace incivility and bullying. Now see some of related topics, basically those are the researchers, those are the PG students where we can make focus workplace ostracism, that is come under incivility and bullying. That is social exclusion, ignoring, isolating employees, often subtle but leads to psychological distress, impact job performance and employee well-being. Organizational cynicism, an outcome of workplace incivility and bullying, distrust and negative attitudes towards the organizations result from unfair treatment, and toxic workplace culture leads to reduced engagement and commitment. Withdrawal behavior and consequences of workplace incivility and bullying. Employees disengaged mentally, emotionally or physically, increased absenteeism, turnover and reduced productivity, a coping mechanism to avoid workplace stressor. See what I am mentioning, these kind of things. It is very important to know exactly what is the shape of workplace incivility and bullying. There are three different shapes, three different components: ostracism, cynicism and withdrawal behavior. All are the negative attitude, negative behavior. Once you know all kind of three things, ostracism, withdrawal behavior and cynicism, you will be knowing basically, what are the sense of using this kind of practices and its remedial action. Ostracism says, ostracism develops some kind of practice of isolation. Cynicism, affected parties used to consider your organizations negatively. Withdrawal behavior, that the one of the practice when people say no, I am not interested, I am foregoing some kind of works intentionally. So this is the sum of emerging trend of understanding this kind of practices. Sum of questions, students: what is the concept of workplace bullying? What are its different forms? What are the effects of workplace bullying on employees and organizations? What strategies can be implemented to prevent workplace bullying? What is the role of leadership in addressing workplace bullying? These questions are very dominant questions, and you will have the proper idea if you see the preceding different slides. This slide will give you the more comprehensive way to understand workplace incivility and bullying and its proper shape of what I say, that cynicism, ostracism and other things, withdrawal behavior. So go through the entire slides very systematically, because some of informations material what I have given, some of text are maximum research material, because this is one of the issue which is very dynamic, and the course content is something like that is advanced. It is not the basic part of organization B, it is advanced. In advanced part, more focus on application of organization behavior. If your organization behavior is not sound, not practical, not vibrant, that may lead some kind of consequences, bad consequences. Now students, go through the entire things, and some of slides, some of books reference already I have given, that will be more useful for your study basically. like as Gupta, Bakshi and Inarsen 2017 investigating workplace bullying in India, some of research material basically. That research material you can, it is available, very easily available. One can get it from different sources of media. I mean internet portal and some other good database of research abstract, and Shalini 2003 and Sports 2019. These are all very useful literature, and that will help you to understand the real practice of workplace bullying. Thank you very much.